What's up, people? ¿Qué tal, mi gente? Bienvenidos otra vez a mi canal. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my trip to Tulum. Hopefully by now you've already checked out my Tulum vlogs, and if not, I'll be sure to link it and drop them in the description box below so that you can see the good times that we had out there. Like, Tulum was a blast. But I feel like a lot of times in vlogs, just in general, you don't get to see some things, like some things get left out about the experience and just things that, you know, you learn while being in this new place and traveling to see this new place. So today is just going to be me sharing my takeaways from Tulum, if you will. Just some things that I learned while I was there, share more details about my experience that maybe I couldn't share in the vlogs, and give you guys some tips if you plan on going out there yourself. So if you are interested in hearing my Tulum takeaways, first off, make sure to subscribe down below, hit that like button while you're there, and let's get started. Okay, so my first Tulum takeaway was transportation. We thoroughly underestimated transportation, at least I did. I thoroughly underestimated what it would be like to walk in Tulum. Like, when you look at it on the map, don't get me wrong, like, things in the town are fairly close, and if you're already out on the beach, like, things are near each other, but it's a long beach. And Tulum has a lot of walking. You can end up doing a lot of walking, which is why most people ride bikes. And so we were out there for 5 days. It wasn't until the last day that we realized, like, we have been doing all this walking and we should have been taking the bikes the whole time. So we ended up taking biking out to the beach, but in that case we probably should have taken a taxi because it was so hot. So one takeaway from Tulum would definitely be to bike around the town if you can. Use biking as your main source of transportation. But if you are staying in the town like we were and going out to a spot on the beach somewhere, definitely use Google Maps first to see how far it is and gauge whether or not you should ride bikes or catch a taxi. But walking is probably just not the option. It is so hot. And so even if you're, you know, leaving early in the morning, or you plan on coming back later at night, like, the heat is just, whew. So yes, if you can, bike in Tulum, and always use Google Maps. Download Google Maps offline before you go out to the beach, and make sure before navigating anywhere that you just check Google Maps. That would be my advice. And then if you are staying on the beach and want to get to the town, vice versa, it works both ways. Another thing to note while we were down there, the roads are in progress, we'll say. They are a work in progress. Lots of potholes and things, especially when you're getting closer down towards the beach, and it's really just a one-way street in and out. So the traffic, it gets pretty intense. So I know some people recommend to rent a car. We definitely didn't do that because I don't like driving as it is, so I definitely don't go out of my way to drive on vacation. But if you do, that's something to keep in mind. It is different kind of roads down there, and you will probably find yourself in a lot of traffic. So even if you do rent a car, if you know you're just going to a destination that's not too far away, take a bike. My next takeaway from Tulum, I got food poisoning, y'all. I threw up. Like, I don't know if I've ever gotten sick on vacation. No, I have once. If you've seen the family cruise, our Thanksgiving cruise when we went to Jamaica, I got sick on that one. But that was different because I feel like it was seasick. This was like food poisoning. Like, we went to a restaurant it wasn't a part of the hostel, but it was just attached to the building of the hostel. And it was a spur of the moment decision. Like, we just happened to be right there and we're hungry, so we were like, let's get tacos. And yeah, no bueno. And that's the thing, like, with these, it wasn't even street food. Like, I would expect to get sick off of street food. Brianna had brought charcoal pills with her, and I don't know if I took one that particular day, but, you know, I was cautious of these things, like, take charcoal pills, watch out for street food, and I still got food poisoning. So one takeaway that I got from that was definitely always talk to the locals about food, because especially different restaurants and things, always ask the locals for suggestions. I actually had talked with someone later who I found out would highly not recommend that restaurant, which is how I knew for a fact that's where my food poisoning came from. But as soon as I told him the name of the place, he was like, no, don't eat there. So if nothing else, I learned that in addition to preparing with the right meds on hand and like maybe being weary about street food, it's also just a good idea to ask the people that actually live there, because they definitely know, you know, what's good and what's not out there. My third tea takeaway from Tulum. These all just happen to start with tea, but these are all my takeaways. So number 3 was my tattoo. I know a lot of you guys saw that I got a tattoo while I was out there. One detail that I don't know if it was clear or not was that it was a cover-up tattoo. So I had this tattoo on my back that I got randomly when I was in college, and it's just always kind of been an eyesore for me. So I knew when we went to Mexico, I had already like looked on Instagram and Google reviews to see what kind of tattoo artists were down there, and I happened to come across Latin Ink Tattoo and really liked their work, and then even more specifically found Emilio, who was awesome. I reached out to him on Instagram and we kind of like chatted about it, and then when I got down there, we had like a consultation appointment, and then he gave me this wonderful tattoo. So I absolutely love it. It was a very painful experience. Very, very painful. That was probably the most painful tattoo I have, but I think it was well worth it, especially because I no longer have the hideous eyesore on my back anymore. So the tattoo, I think in terms of like price, was about fairly similar to probably what I would pay here. I've never gotten a cover-up tattoo before, but I do have another tattoo on my leg that's about the same size or so, at least as detailed I would think as the one that I got, and that one was about 200 or so. The one that I got in Mexico was about 3. So just to give you an idea of like pricing. So one more thing that I realized after getting a tattoo in Mexico or just a tattoo in a place that's not your home period, is to definitely prepare on the way back the flight to bring comfortable clothing. I looked up, y'all. I happened to have like this jumpsuit that didn't have anything like cinching around my waist, because it like tattoo like crosses right here, and so I really just couldn't wear pants, honestly. Like anything right here just irritated my back so bad. So fortunately I had something like loose, and like I could put a jacket on and make it like warm, take the jacket off, it'll be make it a warmer outfit, or take the jacket off, make it a cooler outfit. So it was flexible, and it made the plane ride back as comfortable as possible with that healing on my back. So yeah, something to keep in mind if you go to another country or travel somewhere and plan to get a tattoo. Just think through your outfit for your return flight thoroughly. Okay, takeaway numero 4. Transferring money in Tulum. Oh my goodness, getting cash out of the ATM. Woo! Was an experience. Don't get me wrong. I specifically took cards that I know should work in other countries, and for some reason it was just not working. I went down there with a specific amount of money, knowing that I would need to get more cash out for my tattoo because they only take cash. So I came down here with the intentions of, I'll get out once I figure out how much it was, because I didn't know beforehand. I'll get out that specific amount out of an ATM. Didn't work. We went like a whole day hopping around different ATMs trying to get stuff out. Eventually Brianna volunteered to let me transfer the money to her, and she was gonna try to get out of her account. But then her card, like we had ATM problems all around. Her card wasn't working either. It turned out to be like some technical type of glitch that was set up on her account that was preventing her from doing it. But we went down there with cards and accounts that should have allowed us. Like we did all the precautions, we took all the steps. I don't know why we couldn't get money out of Tulum. That was such a, it was a pain in the butt, honestly. Like it was a pain in the butt, because at one point we were just running out of pesos. Like I said, I only went down with a certain amount. And I was fortunate enough to have a friend with me, but like with us both depending on her pace, I was like, hers were running out as well. So whew, a fiasco. Eventually we were able to get it out, but now that I have that takeaway since then, I've done some Googling and I came across this card called TransferWise. This is not a sponsored video, but I did purchase that. It's like, it's free to set up an account, but to get a debit card was a $9, you pay $9 to get a debit card. So I did that, and I plan on using it at my next travel destination, which I still haven't told you guys where I'm going yet, but I will soon. Stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you can figure out exactly where I'm going. So yes, I got that TransferWise card. I'm hoping this should eliminate all issues that I have with withdrawing from ATMs. I haven't tried it out just yet. Obviously, I'm just trying it, but I will definitely keep you guys posted on how it works for me. Check them out because they do offer currency. They offer to exchange currency or hold currency in your account for you in like a variety of different countries. I think it's like 60 or something. So if you're a frequent traveler, it is definitely worth looking into. Oh, and another tip on top of that takeaway, if you are using the ATM machines, or even if you're going somewhere and they ask you, do you want the currency in your home country's currency or the local currency, the rule of thumb is always to go with the local currency. It's a lot of math, and y'all know how I feel about math behind that, but ultimately you end up saving a lot more money if you opt to do the exchange in the country that you're currently getting money out of or currently traveling in. Okie dokie, my last and final takeaway from Tulum. Tulum is tranquila. Like, that's the only way to describe it. It is so chill, relaxed vibes. I mean, the pace, everything is just so slow and chill. Like, it's tranquila, es todo. Even when we would go out to eat, a lot of times me and Brianna would be sitting there talking and chatting for like 20 minutes and realize like, hey, we stopped eating like forever ago. Where did our waiter go? Like, you really have to even hunt them down to get your check because everything is so chill. Like, they don't come to you and be like, you know, here's your bill, like how you would typically see here in America. It's very chill. So that is what my one takeaway. And you hear the people say tranquila, like mucho, like you hear it a lot. So yeah, those are the 5 takeaways that I got from my trip to Tulum. If you guys are planning on going, let me know in the comments below, or if you have traveled to Tulum, tell me some of the takeaways that you might have experienced while you were there. Drop in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.